Okay.
So I don't know where you're at.
Yeah.
You're maxed out.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. So I chose something called design, or I chose to design your own yoga mat, and it's called Mats and Me. And so first, these are my categories. So first, you pick your gender, and then you pick your material, the size, thickness, texture, design, color, extra personalization, and then the end is reviews, likes, and comments. Maybe. I don't know if I actually need that, but and so these are my categories first. I've only done one user scenario so far. And this is kind of what the first page looks like. It's a really bad sketch, but
Can I throw in a quick question?
yes.
In what way will the yoga mat differ between male and female?
That's why I kind of put a unisex option, like male, female, or like what gender, because I guess the only way they would differ is for the designs and the colors, but that's just to give them like, if they want to. If not, then they can just do whatever color, whatever design they want.
So if it was male, it would be like stereotypical blue and
Yes.
black and okay.
Yeah. And I tried to put like the mixed gender sign, but I'm very bad at drawing. And then, so next you go to choose the basics. So what material, whether you want it to be a normal type of rubber material or whether you want it to be eco-friendly, like cotton-based. Size, there's short, medium, and tall. And then it'll give you, when you press eventually, it'll give you the measurements. Texture, there can be a sticky texture, sponge-like texture, a patternized texture, normal. And then next you would choose the design. So that's pretty much just the backbone of the yoga mat. It's just the material, size, and texture. So that goes first. And then next you choose the design. And so you can either upload your own design, like create something you like, or your own picture or whatever and really personalize it. Or you can pick from like a collection and it'll have different types of designs that we have already created. And then here's like the kind of extras, like color options, extra personalization, add a message or symbol, or add a color to the back of the mat. And then the finalized page. So yeah.
Such a great idea.
Thank you.
Do anybody else have any comments or anything?
And this is the little logo I made
I love it.
from Photoshop. Yeah.
Such a great idea.
Oh, thanks.
Well, just kidding. Well, I would love the idea of a custom-made
I know.
yoga mat.
I know. Well, Amber, I think, can you pull it back up a second?
Yeah.
It's sort of, I'm a little bit torn because it sort of is not, the assignment is about navigating to an element in a collection, and you're creating an app that helps you work through the process of creating something that's completely customized with all of these different categories and options.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't exactly what the assignment's supposed to be, but I'm kind of okay with it because I think it provides the same challenge, a lot of the same challenges that everybody, that we're addressing here. And you're gonna have, I think that this piece for you, this particular project is gonna be a good portfolio piece and it's gonna really show your thinking, But what I'm concerned about is forcing the user to take a certain path through the customization process.
Yeah.
Can you make it more flexible so that, like, I don't want to choose gender, or you know what I mean? Like, think about the user scenarios where maybe Pamela doesn't want to be defined by gender. She wants to design, she doesn't, that's not going to help her narrow it down.
Don't box me in.
Yeah. But then maybe somebody wants the girliest of girly yoga mats because she doesn't want her husband borrowing it and getting it all sweaty. I mean, think about it.
That's gotta be true.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Think about people's unique needs and how they may, how they can take advantage of it and access all of the customization features through, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I think it will help if you take, I think the idea is great, but I think that if you take a step back and think about the most diverse set of users and then go back and look at it again and how they might want to interact with it. And I think you're going to find an interface that's going to accommodate that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I felt weird about the gender thing as well, for sure.
Well, I
So
don't think it's a problem. I think that you know, I think that that's a way. There are a lot of very uncreative people in the world that need things broken down for them. They're like, well, I know I like pink and flowers. Maybe this is going to be a great filter to allow me to get to what I like. You know what I mean? And I shouldn't say uncreative, but I think it's the way that you categorize your set of your data set is it can be completely biased. It's completely up to you. And that's one way that you can, if that's one way you categorize yoga mats, that's fine.
I would also say this, that there are a set of people who cannot make a decision to save their life. And I used to be an office manager, and I would book appointments, and I learned to give them two choices.
Really?
And even those two choices, some people would hem and haw for 15 minutes over it. So
yeah.
there is a concern with all these choices you're giving. Some people will get overwhelmed and leave your app altogether.
Right.
So I would say that maybe there should be right on the top a choice of, you know, black and gray and, you know, blue, and someone who's just in a hurry, doesn't want to think, can click on that.
Yeah. Okay. Or maybe on the second page, I can just have options of like already made designs for. Do you want to make your own or? Yeah. Just,
good idea. Yeah, for those people.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay.
look at some sites like big e-commerce sites like Overstock.com and Wayfair and this site. I mean, I was looking for an indoor-outdoor rug for our back patio, and I wanted something that was bright colors, and I wanted something that had to be at least a certain dimension, and I wanted indoor-outdoor, and IKEA didn't really have any colorful stuff.
No, they're Swedish.
They didn't have a huge variety there. I did look at IKEA.
They're Swedish.
But the way that they gave me different filters, I was able to, you know, narrow down the choices. There were still like 300 or 400 different things that met my qualifications, but that's a huge data set. So you might look at some of these big e-commerce sites and see that their filters, the way that they allow you to filter the selections when you're looking for like carpets or whatnot, because that might help you a lot.
I would also recommend looking at Vistaprint. It's one word.
Oh, yeah.
Vistaprint has a lot of items you can buy and customize. And the way they do it doesn't seem overwhelming to me at all. And I've used them quite a bit. So you might want to borrow from them too.
Right.
Okay. Sounds good.
I mean, you might want to look at Zappos. You know, they have a huge collection of shoes. How do they let you see the brown sandals with a 1/2-inch heel for women? You know what I mean? And you can filter these things out.
By color and size and all of that, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
I mean, you can even build fun features like surprise me or answer a few questions.
That'd be fun.
I don't know. It's good. Think about really different users though, okay?
Okay.
Brian, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I have categories to discuss today. Okay. If other people have other stuff to show and have more time to spend, that's fine too, but I won't take long.
You know what? Go ahead and show what you have so far.
Pamela's feedback on the last critique was really good as far as hashing out categories. I think it was, who's doing Eckert's? Is that Jenna again?
It's Laura.
Laura.
Laura? Yeah, Pamela gave good feedback, so let's see if she's got some for me. Pamela, because you were so good last time. Well, I listened to those things.
No,
Oh,
no,
good.
no. I have to write a letter of recommendation for Pamela, and so I said, let's add that to the letter. Provides
Oh,
helpful feedback
definitely.
to.
Add it to the letter. Yeah, you can quote me since this is getting
Yeah.
recorded.
I
Live as
will.
a source.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Up here.
Yes.
All right,
Okay,
Brian.
let me
go
share my. Okay, so I stuck.
ahead.
Oh, you're the
We
knot
love
guy.
Don's idea.
You're the knot guy. Okay.
I stuck with knots. There's enough out there to do this assignment by far, especially the database search part of it.
I know that in theory.
Okay. Can everybody see this dot?
Yes.
Okay. What I found with these categories, type of knot being used. Okay, marine knots for boating, climbing knots for, they're self-explanatory. There's differentiation in fishing knots, however, which is enough to give us a new category. And fashion knots on it, fashion knots would mean like neckties, things like that. So I'm covering a lot of knots. The bottom category, knots, differentiates the loop knot, which is categories from every other kind of knot. So the loop knot is a basic knot for all of these categories. I could subcategorize more types of knots. There's bends and hitches and then all this other kind of stuff, but then farther than the scope of the assignment. I wanted to keep it so I could provide that would allow a person to figure out what knot they need to use based on where they are using it. Hence, the categories are by what the activity is.
Brian, I think that you have I think the category is the sport, but that it's associated with. And then when you categorize the knot, it would be, this is a fishing knot, this is it. So I think you need more categories. You could categorize by your knots by the level of difficulty. You could categorize them by how about the security level? Like how
that's good.
how hard it is to get out? Like how
What this uses.
I got you.
And I would say that you cannot separate fly fishing knots from fishing knots, because the first category I'm going to come to is fishing knots, and if I don't find the fly fishing knots in that category, I will be upset. And I'll back up and I'll go, oh, it has its own category.
well, I think sport would be that it's associated with. But wait, I don't really, Darren had a comment, I don't really get it. So what are you saying? Wait, what do you mean?
The time it takes, is that what you said?
Uses. Would there be other?
It's not for these are to
Well, the ones I just highlighted are not sport knots.
utility.
Like
So
those
he's
knots
got a
are
good
other-
point, that there's no association with sports with those that are highlighted.
Right, so.
Are you saying activity or use? How about that?
Utility.
Yeah, use maybe would be the
Because they're all useful.
use,
Mhm.
difficulty, security. What could be other categories for the knots?
Well, craft, like macrame.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about that too, Pamela. Textiles.
Yes.
Could it be textiles or would it be craft macrame or
I
both?
kind of I like craft, but textiles, why not? Maybe they're two separate. You'll have to ponder that. That's not an answer for
Yeah.
us. That's an answer for you. You're the knot expert.
Not man.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I can tie enough knots to keep a boat from sailing away. That's it. But that's how I got onto the idea of knots, because people always give me knot stuff for Christmas. I have knot books, I have knot coffee cups, you know, and they're all informative and they're all out to explain.
Oh, here's another
So
category. Here's something you should consider too, is how to get out of a knot, to undo the knot. That would be useful.
tie a knot.
People always give me like their
Pamela.
chain, their necklaces and their chains to unknot, because for whatever reason, I'm good at unknotting. I think it's just
Oh, are
patience.
you
I'm patient.
getting jewelry unknotted? Oh, that should go in your letter of recommendation.
There we go. That's creative. And she
can
kicks
take-
ass at untangling a knot. Expert unknot.
Okay, this does good because basically the end thing that the user is going to get a choice between watching a short video of the knot being tied or untied in this case, you know, with all these selections that we're coming up with, or a animated diagram. I don't intend on making an animated diagram of the knot, or I could shoot some video, but you know, we're doing this to get through a user scenario to point someone to information.
Right.
So
You just need to allude to it.
yeah, right. I'm gonna allude
Don't
they
overdo it. You know, it's funny because when I was working on mine, I was thinking, thank God I don't have to do this database.
Well, you know what, Brian, if I were you, I would look at some of your books on knots and see how they're categorizing them. Like, how are they organized by chapter? And what other detail do they tell you about every single knot?
Well, Julia, I didn't bring my knot book with me to Netherlands.
Dang!
I did not.
Well, there is this thing called internet.
Yeah, that's true. You might,
Exactly.
looking up the book might refresh your memory, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I think that, like, think about, can you put your list back up again?
Am I still screen sharing?
Yeah.
No.
I
Oh,
am? Okay.
no,
No.
sorry. No.
So
Okay, it should come up.
these marine knots, climbing knots, fashion knots, these are all kind of descriptors as opposed
Mhm.
to there's a difference between use, security level, like those, all of these things that you've listed at the top, and even craft and textiles, those are specific uses for the knot. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you create more parallel categories.
Or ways in which to filter them.
Exactly.
Yes, it could be difficulty to tie and difficulty to untangle. How it's used. How about the amount of
How much rope it might
how
take.
much rope? And I know it's going to depend on how big, or I don't know, something about the length of the whatever you're tying.
And plus the density of the rope.
Yeah, that would be specific to the use for sure.
Right.
I like difficulty tie and untangle for sure.
Mhm.
Textiles is a use, crafts is a use. Rescue is not necessarily a use. I mean, it is a use, but it's different than the other uses for sure. Fashion's on its own. So,
They're all categories of knots. It could be use, and what could be the other? Because I think what's different about use and marine knots, climbing knots, fashion knots is that every knot in existence, we could probably assign some type of use for it.
Yes.
Whereas every knot is not going to fall into the marine category. Do you see what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
Every single
I do.
knot, we could attach some type of a score about how difficult it is to tie. You know,
Okay.
so it has to be, when you come up with your categories, you have to be able to apply this category to every single thing in your database. Does that help
Okay,
you?
difficulty works, yes. And also, how about the type? Not all knots can be tied in thread, as it were. In other words, you won't tie knot X with this kind of rope, but you'll tie knot Y with this kind of rope.
Right.
Right,
It could
so-
be like material or
Right, nylon versus
yeah,
organic, and then also, of course, the weights of
the
the,
material suitability category. Like, so recommended, like,
right,
it's kind of like
And-
a slip knot might be really great for blah, 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 this used in this material, that material, but you never, it's gonna be impossible to tie a knot. I don't know, maybe it's like a material suitability.
yeah, I think so. Material and weight of the,
Does that
Hope
help
so.
you, Brian, when you're coming up with categories? And I think this is a good
Absolutely.
for everybody.
Mhm.
You have to be able
Oh,
to
yeah.
say something about everything in your database with that particular category. That makes sense?
Okay. Yes, there are also, you see this one, loop knots right here. There are only really two types of knots you can, well, actually there's four, but they break down into knots with loops and knots without loops.
Then that's great.
right,
That splits all the knots in the world kind of in half. So
Right.
that would be one. Okay.
yes.
Like loop or not. Like loop or not. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Loop or not?
I think you're getting close to your 7 or 6 categories, whatever you need.
Cool. All right. Thanks, gang. I knew
All
it.
right. Okay,
All right.
Darren, do you want me to go over to you? Okay.
Pam's probably. Yeah, a lot.
Pamela.
Pamela, sorry.
You don't like Pammy?
Pammy, I will go with Pammy, but
You
don't
go
call me
with
Pam.
Pam.
I think
Well,
Pammy's
but, you know,
kinda cute.
Pammy is cute because my grandma used to call me Pammy.
Oh, I'm gonna call you Pammy.
My best friend in high school called me Pammy.
I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to call her Pamela. Like
You're
she wants
smart.
to
You're
be
smart.
called.
I can tell.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear Darren okay?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I was gonna do tattoos because I got like 14 tattoos and people are just constantly getting inked that I know, so.
You and my daughter would get along fabulously.
Yeah, right. So 7 categories, I guess. It's just like a rough, I guess the price range, style, size, body area, shops, artists, reviews, tattoo conventions and stuff. I just did 2 user scenarios right now. Were we supposed to make it faster though, or no? Oh, I saw that in the.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what Amber has started.
Yeah.
You know, she thought about a very specific user with a very specific task in mind. So what would the screen layouts look? How would she be able to
Right.
filter her? You know, so this is good coming up with. He has no space for tattoos anymore except for his knee.
Yeah, so it's 2 different, yeah. So he's gonna search body area to see.
How he can get a tattoo on his knee.
That's a real struggle for some people out there, you know.
That is hilarious. So I think you're on the right track there. I mean, you have your very different user scenarios.
Yeah.
And what I'm hoping will happen was that you're going to start to see, oh, well, even though they have very different needs, I can allow them, they can get to where they're going by going through sort of similar screens. They just pick different options.
All right, so the database obviously is gonna be really, really big.
Well, you don't have to build the database.
Yeah, I know.
And question about the addition of conventions.
Yeah, but how is that a category?
Well,
guess
I
that's not
understand
really-
it.
I already have,
I
so,
can see it as a, you know, as an adjunct, you know, a benefit to some people who enjoy going to conventions. But I only know people that just go to their tattoo favorites. You know, there's actual artist favorites. So, and I only know of one around here, a friend of mine is part of it, but I'm not sure if that, I don't know if that needs to be included or not. You'll have to kind of consider that a bit.
I think the idea is great. It's going to be, I think that a tattoo database, you know, I could kind of see there's sort of an inherent style associated with tattoos. I
Well,
think.
it's like, it's just.
Oh, it's so
there's
different
like
now.
more
There's
than
some real art
50%
going on.
Americans get tattooed every day, so it's just like there needs to be something. And then if everybody in St. Louis City was using that app, then there could be like appointments could go like really quickly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
See, your brains are going, like, even though this assignment is focused on the collection and how we're going to navigate the collection, your brain is immediately going to, oh my God, this
Big
is,
picture.
you know, you're
Yeah.
starting to think about the practical application for it.
Not only that, but so I went with my daughter a couple times when she went to get tattoos, and I watched people come in and just sort of look around on the wall where there was an image and go, well, I think I'll get this one. No real thought about the permanent thing that's going on your body.
That's
See,
great.
And that would eliminate that.
is one of
They would
those.
actually ponder it and consider it and come up with some deeper meaning. Then that's cute.
Right.
Yeah, there's people like that. I mean, there's
Oh my
people who
God,
say
I-
that too, get sick
Well,
of it.
Darren,
I do too a little bit too, so.
Could you categorize a tattoo? Could a tattoo be associated with a particular tattoo artist? So then you know where to go to like get that particular style, or where, I think who originally was the artist that did it would be a great
Yeah,
category.
I agree. Yeah, that would be really important. Plus, you're giving credit to the artist.
And plus I think that, I mean, from a business standpoint, you could market this app to tattoo shops.
Yep.
For sure.
And
Yeah, I
artists.
looked
part of
online.
it.
I don't think there's anything really like
No.
that, really. There's like you can design your own
And-
tattoo you or something like that. But the name, I don't really know the name. This is just something I can't remember. It's crazy, but I know it's gonna be Tattoo Machine. That's gonna be like the #1. I'll make something like that. But the name, I have no idea what to call it. Like getting inked in.
Well, you're going to have to research that because every clever name with ink has been. I feel like it's been, but maybe it's not ink. Maybe it's a derivative of it. You might have to go next level.
Maybe like a combination of like Pinterest and tattoos, because it is kind of like Pinterest. You're looking for inspiration and directing you to where to get it.
Tent interest.
Tent interest.
Tetris? Tetris?
Tetris.
Oh.
I like it. Wait, that's too much of a ripoff of Pinterest. You can't be that
I
close
don't know.
to
I
it.
like inked in. That's pretty good.
Inked in.
Look it up because that is really good. Inked
So
in.
yeah,
I bet it's
gonna
taken.
be-
The really good ones are always taken.
But then they can like all connect the categories too. If like someone has a certain style, they have an artist they want to go to. Like, that could all
Mhm.
connect with that too. So.
And you can ask, once you've established it, you can offer to the shops and or artists premium service so that they're the first seen.
Do you guys have any? I think you're on the right track. I don't know your images, that the black and white icon.
Yeah, it's just-
Would you recognize it? I mean, would people who are interested in tattoos know what that is? Because I don't have any tattoos. I'm
Yeah,
scared of
maybe
this.
it'd have to be like I Love Mom or something like that. or
Something.
Yes,
that
yes.
yes.
The anchor.
Classic quintessential
Or
tattoo.
cliche even. The
Yeah.
anchor. I love mom. Yeah, you're right.
Brian, you suggest something?
I do have a question. Since the appointment scheduler and the entrepreneurism behind it is great, can he focus on that in his user scenarios? In other words, can I be that user who wants to find a place to get a tattoo, and can that be the scenario
Oh,
of his assignment?
of course.
Yeah.
The emphasis though is to get to that one tattoo, you know, but you can but it can be someone with the mindset of I need to be directed to go get this right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm that user. I want this mom heart right away. I got to get it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Because if he does focus on that, this is a project you can take with you.
Yeah.
Right.
And exactly. Okay. Wow, it's a great idea.
Cool.
Yeah, you could build it over the year, and you know.
Yep.
I think this whole, I think is buildable.
Absolutely, but don't talk about it to people.
Yeah, keep it on the DL.
Just like mine, I mean, let's not talk about it too much.
Yeah, okay.
Just all solved.
All right, Penny.
Too easy to build.
Sure.
Okay, so I don't have anything to show because it's just scribbling, right? Okay, but I have a lot to say.
Okay. Can
And
you guys hear okay?
And I will not swear, likely.
Okay.
Maybe,
All right.
likely. Okay, so I was really struggling on how exactly I want to do it. And the bottom line is that when you're trying to do a project and you're not sure what direction to go, you end up doing a lot to kind of try to carve it in. So I'm deciding whether I want it to just be a database, and I think the answer is I don't. I want it to be more of like a game.
Mm-hmm.
So within that framework, the database will be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided what I'd do is I just start with a user scenario and see where it went.
Uh-huh.
So here's my user scenario.
Okay.
Tom is unhappy that his coworker Carla has been eating his lunch every day at 11:30 while he is calling his mother to check in.
Uh-huh.
And she knows that he's not available, so she goes and eats his lunch. Tom wants to find the perfect swear word to stop her in her tracks. Okay. So he opens his app, the National Registry of Swears app, and the first thing that it shows is who, why, what, when, where, and how. That may not be enough categories,
Uh-huh.
but I'll work on that. So he picks who.
Okay.
And then you go to the next screen and it has all the people that you might need to swear at.
Yeah.
So the first one is in-laws,
Coworker.
brother, coworker, brother or sister, boyfriend or girlfriend, boss, teacher, best friend, bully, the misogynist, spouse, jerk in traffic, which is obviously really deserving of a good swear, and everyone else. So he picks coworker. And then the next thing that is another screen of possible problems.
Uh-huh.
And so the problems are parked in my spot, clicks pen, taps desk, snaps gum, uses all the time, always brings donuts, never brings donuts, yawns all the time, won't answer the phone, brown noser, never gets in trouble, eats my lunch. So he selects eats my lunch. So then the next screen goes to my response was, and then this made me laugh so much. My response was, stop eating my lunch. Bring your own lunch. If my lunch is so bad, why do you keep eating it? Good. Now I'll put horseradish all over it. What is wrong with you? You are so unfair. I'm just thinking of like when Mr. Rogers is mad, what he would say. You're so stupid. No, I know it was you. No, I will not add mayo. So much fun with this. You make me so mad. You're stealing. Why are you so hungry? So he picks stop eating my lunch.
Uh-huh.
So then it goes to another screen that has options. So it says, how many swears would you like to add to your line? And there's a choice of 1, 2, or 3. And then you can select from that swear word being a noun, verb, adjective, adverb, or exclamation. And then once those are selected, then you hit done, and it says, show me my power. And then the result is the new improved sentence, which is effing stop effing eating my effing lunch. And then it says swear success, balance restored, or badassery achieved.
Well, I think this is a funny idea. However, the possibilities are building on each. I mean, I think it'd be impossible to build.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I think there's not as many categories as you think. Why do you think it'd be impossible to build?
Because what you're describing is kind of like a branch tree structure. We've gone down one path, which yields to a whole bunch of unique options. and you pick that one path, which yields a whole bunch of unique options, you're gonna, if you build out all of that for all of those possible pathways, you're gonna have a million possibilities. So I think you could do the same kind of concept, but I would say that you started off who you want to swear to, what you want to do.
Who or the situation?
Well,
So who, why, what, when, where, how?
I think that's fine, but I think that these unique combination of choices yield to a funny answer, as opposed to this goes into a specific set, which goes into a specific set, which goes into a specific set, because then it gets to be unwieldy. But what is funny, and it would still be entertaining, is if you want to curse at your coworker. So then is it a male or a female that you're cursing at? And then do you want to, do you need an adverb form, or do you need a noun?
Right.
You know, and what crime have they committed? What did they do? You know, maybe they stole something, maybe they but keep it general enough so that it could apply in different ways if you entered the application. You know what I mean?
And maturity level.
Yeah. Maturity level. Or
well, when you get into swearing, there is no maturity.
well, think
No,
about
for the person that you're swearing at.
I mean, if you
So
picked,
like how immature that
I need to curse at my kid. You know, like let's say
I tried
choose
never to do
kid,
that.
And what if they've stolen from me, or you know what I mean? That you want to.
So I can still do who, what, when, and where, how, and then the problem. What is the problem? Why isn't that what you wanted to know? Is
right.
the reason for the need of the swear?
Right. So can you keep it general enough so that those problems will apply? They aren't specific to a particular scenario, because it just, I don't think it'll work that way. It's to yield the perfect curse word. And it still will be really fun and entertaining, but you have to think about like barnacles. Like that's a classic SpongeBob curse word. It probably would be appropriate for like it would be an exclamation that I want to say to the situation. It might be, I'm pissed off, but I'm in front of my kid because my kid made me late. You know,
those the non swears are NSF, like safe for work, not safe for work, or safe for work.
Right.
You know, those are easy. I think that, yeah, I'm not quite following you, which is probably typical because I'm still got this in my head, but so back to, I can do who, what, when, and where, and then I have to come up with a problem, but how can I be more vague with the problem?
Well, I think that if you, it could be if somebody stole something from you, somebody wasn't paying attention, and keep it general enough so it could apply to different situations.
Okay.
Or someone
ignoring you, or just
ignored, hurt you, inconvenienced you, said something mean about you. Play with some of these different general categories for the who, what. I think your idea of the who, the coworker, your child, your spouse, your in-laws, like, I think that's fine.
You're taking child out. We're not swearing at our kid. I'm not going to endorse child swearing.
Okay. But it's ridiculous. I love the spirit of the ridiculousness of this application.
Yeah.
It is completely silly. However, we also want to make it buildable and entertaining at the same time.
Yeah.
And with these, even with this set of 10 different possibilities here, or 20 different possibilities here, 20 different possibilities here, it's going to be super entertaining because you'll achieve swear words. You know, there should be some randomness to it too. So perhaps through my choices, there's maybe 5 different possibilities because of the way that I've categorized my swear words. So if I went through the application once or twice, it's like, oh, you don't like that option? How about another alternative?
Yeah.
And it gives you another alternative.
Okay.
So that there's some fun to it.
Okay.
And then and your silliness can come out, like, use this word in context. Like, and then it builds a sentence. Coworker, you stole something from me. Barnacles, like it builds a sentence based on your selection, and it can be funny, and sometimes it's not going to be applicable at all, but it's entertaining and it's silly, and that's the spirit that you want to keep with this. But you have to make it buildable by limiting,
Well, I also wanted, and I don't know if this is even realistic, but I also wanted to add a different section that just allowed people to look up swear words, their origin, and maybe their pronunciation.
That's fine. But then that's great. You can add that in, but when you do your user scenarios, think about the ways that they want to get to that final swear word.
Right.
You got it?
I do got it.
I think it's going to be hilarious.
It is
I think
hilarious.
it's great.
Already
And you want to
hilarious.
keep that. I mean, it's just so the ridiculous spirit of this.
Yes.
You have to keep that,
Yeah, right. The whole idea, and ridiculous in a serious way.
Yes.
Yeah, like authoritative. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's the like the authoritative guide on swearing, It's so funny.
It's almost as funny as someone who's authoritative on knots.
Yeah, exactly. Hey guys, this is all coming along pretty well. I think that, I don't even know what the due date is, but I think it's like I'd like to have it due that Tuesday, the last week of class. So that would be 2 weeks from today. So if we need to ramp up critiques because people need to get in those 8 critiques, please send me a message. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on doing the Tuesdays. I know, check the grades area. I've been trying to keep everything up to date.
And we have to have critiques, correct?
What'd you say? You need 8.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I know that a lot of people are in the 5-ish range.
Okay.
We can add back in. I can add back in that Friday morning if you know you need to get, but just let me know.
Actually, it's this. Did you say that the third?
No, the last week of classes
It's
would be,
it's the second, or is it the 9th?
it's the 9th.
Okay.
Well, they call it exam week.
That's exam week. So you're talking about the 2nd. That's a week from today.
Right, but
2 weeks from today.
No, it's not.
I would say, we don't have an exam, so I would say the 9th.
Oh.
That's the final due date.
The 9th? Okay.
Mhm. One more thing, the project, you know how we did the sort with the kids over at SWIC? I helped them with their card sort. I'm setting up a reverse sort. So I'm gonna hit you guys up to go and check out the reverse sort and be users for them. It should only take a few minutes. I'll send the link out, and then I will probably have a session with them. I'm guessing maybe next Tuesday or Thursday or next Tuesday or something like that. You guys can jump in and participate in that as well. It's going to be a little late for you Leiden folks, but because they meet in the afternoon, so it'd probably be in the evening, like 7 or 8 in the evening. But you're welcome to jump on that critique, even though it's not an official critique. If you need credits for critique, just jump in and just listen and be Huh?
Through World Classroom, we'll see.
Yes. So I have to set it up. I'm working on setting it up today. I'll send you guys the link, and then I'll schedule a time to do a Google Hangout with those guys.
Okay.
Got it?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, have a good day. I will talk to y'all later. Take care.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.